Gotabaya has now left the country but sticks to his post, and now Wickremesinghe also faces an opposition in the country. What is your prediction for the immediate political future for Lanka?
Both President Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Wickremesinghe have held Sri Lanka and its people to ransom. Millions and millions of people of our country are requesting both of them to go, to get out, to leave Sri Lanka so that people won't suffer any longer. But both of them continue to ignore the people's wish. So I absolutely have no idea when they will leave government. Both are clinging to power. Both are power hungry. And both do not care for the people of our country.
Right, because this is the pending situation that has been going on in Sri Lanka for the past many months, Mr. Premadasa, because the protesters do not want to also see Ranil Wickremesinghe leading the country or even as the Prime Minister or a President. What happens in such a scenario?
Well, constitutionally, when the President and the Prime Minister resigns, the Speaker becomes the acting President. So there is a way through, prescribed by the provisions of the Constitution. So it's a lame excuse provided by the present Prime Minister to hang on to power because he's power hungry, he's greedy for power, he's very eager to become the President of Sri Lanka, but he doesn't want to listen to the wish and will of the people of Sri Lanka.
And Mr. Premadasa, you're also the leader of the opposition in your country. What do you propose that should be the way forward next?
I have always preferred the electoral path to political power. It should be the wish of the majority that should reign. However, under the current circumstances, if a situation occurs that there will be a contest within Parliament for these positions of power, since the country is in a very difficult state, I want to be very emphatic when I state that I only support peaceful, calm, democratic protest, which protects the freedom of speech, the freedom of gathering, the freedom to demonstrate. That is what I champion. I don't champion terrorism committed to vandalize public and private property. That is terrorism. And I condemn it. I abhor it. So, basically speaking, it is Ranil Wickremesinghe whose intransigent approach, whose inflexibility, whose stubbornness has created this stalemate. He is responsible and he is accountable.
Right, but Mr. Premadasa, Gotabaya Rajapaksa is in Maldives. Now, what do you believe could be his final destination? Are you happy that he is left, or do you intend that somehow to hold on to him and his family accountable? Because what has happened in the country, and that has been one of the main demands that the protesters are also demanding, sir.
I have absolutely no idea as to where he is right now. And I'm not interested in where he is. That is not my business. My business is bringing our country out of this devastated situation. That is my duty. And I will do my duty. In doing so, we will bring to book all those who have looted from the public treasury, all those who have stolen state assets, all those who have stolen the Sri Lankan people's public property. But that will be done through a transparent judicial procedure, not through the involvement of politicians. It's not our business to do that, but it is a business of authentic, independent judicial institutions to apprehend corrupt politicians and officials and repatriate monies that were stolen from the Sri Lankan people.
And sir, do you also think that dynasty politics is responsible for the crisis that we are witnessing in Sri Lanka?
The present status, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, is a very, very sorry state. It's a dilapidated state. It's a country that is crying for some sort of growth and prosperity. All this was caused because the wrong mandate was given at the presidential polls in 2019 and in the general election polls in 2020. These corrupt, decrepit politicians did not all of a sudden appear from either Moon, Mars, Saturn, or Jupiter. They were brought into power by a mandate, by a people's mandate. So it's the wrong decisions that led to this corrupt administration ruining our motherland.
Right, but Mr. Premadasa, the Sri Lankan economy is suffering, and this has been happening for the last several months. Ranil Wickremesinghe himself says that around 4 years would be required to stabilize the economy. Do you have a blueprint exactly what needs to be done? What is the future of Sri Lanka looking like?
We are ready with a plan. We have the best team. We have the best architects of economic policy. What we need is a mandate. We need a working majority with a coherent approach to ensure that our economic plan works. And of course, we won't have short-term prosperity. We will have to go through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But those are the consequences of decisions that were made in 2019 and 2020. Unfortunately, that will be the reality. In order for us to return to 2019 levels, I would say it would take a minimum of 4 to 5 years.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Premadasa, for joining us here on Times Now and sharing your perspective of what can we expect in Sri Lanka amidst this crisis that we are witnessing. Time now for a short